Wednesday.
Hey, can you see am I on this frame? Because I was only seeing you. Am I good? Because you were good.
Yeah.
I'm good? Cool.
Live in action. Speakers
Live
back, man.
and in action.
Yes, sirree.
After being sick.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of people are catching that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
I don't know what it was, but
it's not
sucked.
COVID. Because my wife had it too. Whatever this thing
Did she
is. My
test
son,
negative?
negative
Yeah,
COVID.
same here.
First, my son had it. He was sick or whatever. No COVID. The next week, my wife got sick, and she even lost her voice. Couldn't even talk or
That's right, I
whatever.
remember you saying.
Numerous, and she's like, she goes overboard on the COVID testing. Like, she'll take a test like every 10 minutes if you let her. Like, so, but they're all negative. But yeah, it's something. And then you,
Yeah.
how was that, man? Like,
It was not pleasant, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. I remember when I had COVID, it was kind of similar a little bit, but just had a really bad headache, like right here.
yeah.
Stuffy nose. I can still kind of hear it in my voice, kind of a little stuffy.
Yeah, I could kind of a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But much better than the other day.
Oh yeah, dude, way better. Yeah, my ears have always been, and COVID was awful. Just like super sensitive. They always are, even now. Like, an example is like when I bathe my kids, my son used to like play around and he'd like scream, like fighting his toys, like rah.
Yeah.
And the bathrooms are so much smaller that when he would scream and it would echo, it would hurt my ears.
Really?
My ears are just sensitive.
Interesting.
But when I had COVID, it was super sensitive. I was in the other room trying to sleep. They were all the way in the living room. Door was closed, and it was still hurting my ears when they were screaming. And it was this way again. I could like hear what sounded like the ocean for like 2 days.
So
It
you
just
had
kept
the symptoms again.
just like whooshing in both my ears. Then it was super loud. Everything was loud. I was like, geez, I don't know what's going on. But no, negative.
And you couldn't eat either. You didn't have an appetite.
I didn't have an appetite.
You didn't
I
have
could
an appetite.
taste what I was eating, but
just no appetite.
I just wasn't eating very often. So.
Yeah, you shrunk, you lost some weight there, man.
Wanna lose some weight? Go catch this fake COVID, man.
Whatever this
Not
is.
fake like that, but fake like whatever this is.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to get banned already.
Yeah, I don't want to say. I'm not saying COVID's fake. I'm saying whatever I had was like a pretend COVID.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're back. You're back and healthy.
Yeah.
We're back in action, man. We got a great, crazy week, man. This market, man, this housing market is housing marketing. It's doing a bunch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was tough when like I said, when I was sick, I was doing a lot of laying down, a lot of reading, watching these charts, watching the rates move. I wish I was here to tell you that they're moving down, but they're not. You know, so it's crazy.
It's going up. We got a couple. We got some data last week and earlier this week. Jobs reports, unemployment, all that. We didn't get a rate hike, Fed hike. I think a couple weeks ago it was, and they paused. So that kind of saved mortgage rates for that day, but I guess they went up right after that shortly.
Yeah,
because of the
all the data, everything looks good. Economy looks strong.
Because
less job openings, less job turnover.
The job market is kind of
still moving, working. Consumer spending is not slowing at the pace that they wish.
Right. Wages, actually, there's I believe there's a couple unions that are striking, and if not, I believe Kaiser was on strike as well. The nurse and all them so the thing is now, you've got a lot of these people are just wanting more wages, higher wages, which I get, and they should. But again, on the other side, it doesn't really help the inflation and the in the Fed and the rates going up. So,
and I don't know where this money's going that everybody's getting, because it ain't going to home buys. The applications are down, transactions are down, interest rates are up. Home prices haven't dropped, so you're still expecting to pay what today's market requires, for a home.
Well, there's still a demand, and guys,
the demand is still there.
The thing is, like I said before, every city, every market, there's really two markets in every market. There's the above the median and below the median, right? And below the median, and most markets, especially here in Fresno, that's where we're seeing a lot of the demand is, and that's where it's and that's what's keeping the prices the same or higher, because there's not as much inventory or houses available on the lower price points, and still a lot of buyers who are looking to buy, keeping those prices up. Above the median, depending on how far you go, it gets slow. It starts slowing down quite a bit. But that's just it, man. Yeah, it's still interesting, man. This time of year, fall, right? Typically, typically seasonality. It's a seasonal slowdown. We're approaching every, September, October. This is when the market starts slowing down a little bit every year. It has nothing to do with the economy. It's just a natural progression of real estate cycle, right? Towards the end of the year, less people out looking, less sellers want to list. People are getting ready for holidays, so on and so forth. So how do you feel how this rest of this year going to play out? And just projection, like what do you forecast from here throughout the rest of the year, whether it's rates, just overall, what do you see? Activity?
I see a lot of sitting and waiting.
Yeah,
on all fronts. When we're talking about interest rates, right now we're currently sitting, on a conventional home purchase for a primary home. You're sitting, high 7.75 to low 8s, 8.25.
Have you quoted anyone as an 8 with an 8?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I've quoted somebody with an 8. It was a primary purchase. Credit score was not the greatest. They were putting down the minimum, and we were running into some DTI issues. So everything's always going to be different. I've quoted somebody in the 7s still, which is weird to say. Like that's a good thing, but it is a good thing in this market. It's just I've quoted somebody in the 7 still, and I've quoted somebody over 8. I've quoted a DSCR loan, which is an investor loan. So now I'm shifting over to loans that are not a primary home that a family intends on living on. The homes that you don't intend on living in, you buy them as an investment property, typically going to have a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
So I've quoted a DSCR loan up over 9 already.
DSCR, so just for those that are watching that they're like, what the heck is a DSCR loan that are not familiar?
So DSCR is an acronym for debt service coverage ratio, meaning that the biggest and most important factor in these loans is that they want to make sure that the asset that they're funding, the property that the buyer is buying, is generating more income than the debt service that is on it. So if the mortgage payment is going to be $2,500, but that home is going to be bringing in $3,000 a month in rent, the DSCR, that ratio there is what they're looking for. That is over 1 to 1.
It's a green light. You can probably buy that. So
right.
This is for investors only, guys, just so you know, not for your primary, but if you're looking to buy an investment, and as long as that rental income covers what that mortgage payment or more, what if it washes, like it's balanced? Say
1 to 1.
Yeah. What if it's 2,500 both ways?
Right. So that would be, and the ratio, that the way that they look at it is exactly to determining that. So if it is a 1% ratio, that DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, if that ratio is 1, what that means is the mortgage payment is $2,500 and it could rent for $2,500. So it's 1 to 1. It is even. Now, the higher it can rent for, that's going to be 1.2. 1.5, gotcha. 1.10 ratio, the more that it rents for. Now, if it rents for less than what the service is, now we're no longer at 1, we're at 0.95,
sure.
0.92. Now, the lower and lower that number gets, well, one, as an investor, why are you buying that? Because if it's
alligator
not,
is what they call it.
Right. Yeah. That's what Zuber said. Yeah, alligator.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Zuber.
So one, why are we buying that? Maybe there's some alternative there. Maybe you like the area, you see appreciation, you plan on doing something to the property, whatever it may be. Why are we buying it? And 2, you're creating more risk for the person that's lending money to you to buy that, because now they know that their asset is not covered by the income that it's generating. So therefore, you got to put more down. Therefore,
but that borrower can still get that property,
correct?
Even though it doesn't cover.
There are certain banks that go to different levels. Some will not drop below 1. Some banks will say, hey, we're good all the way down to 0.75. Wow. Some say we have no ratio at all. You go ahead and buy. But the lower the ratio, obviously, the more strict our guidelines are going to be.
Gotcha.
Like you got to put 30% down.
That seems risky though for them to even want a loan on something that doesn't even cash flow positive, right?
It is.
It's so interesting because I come across investors just throughout my career or whatever, and you get quite a few that are like, hey, I want to buy this rental property, and they might find one, and we were running numbers. I'm like, hey man, you're really not going to cash flow. I don't think this would be good for you. You're not going to make anything on it. You might even have to pay like $100 extra out of pocket every month. You'll be surprised how many people are kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
There are people like, what, that's fine. It's cool. I got a couple of rentals, I pay an extra, the difference on it. So I would never want to buy nothing like that. And they're banking on appreciation. That's the only hope, is that the property is going to exceedingly go up in value at some point, and they could either, do a HELOC or, gain equity, do something to.
So one of the things I like to always do is, like in a situation like that, If that was the scenario, just like you throwing that out there, whether that's happened to you specifically or it's just a hypothetical, just thinking on scenarios like that, I always like to put myself on the other side. I'm like, well, why would I do that? And to be honest, some people are, business owners or W-2 earners, and they're earning high. They live well below their means. They have money that they're looking to put away and get some sort of return on. Maybe not monthly, but like you said, the appreciation. And if they have 2 or 3 kids, they'll buy 2 or 3, whether it costs them $200 a month.
Sure.
They'll buy 2 or 3. And when those children are, 20 years old, that home's almost paid off.
Yeah.
How much equity is in there? It's like a forced savings account.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But the cash flow's not there, but they're not concerned about $200 a month. So, which is not the case for most people, but I always try to okay, they just want a forced savings account.
Everyone's situation is different.
Right.
And that's what we tell people. Like people, you can't ask that question if it's a time to buy for you. People are asking, is it time to buy now? Time to buy? Everyone's situation is different depending on why you're going to buy. What are your needs? What's your plan? What's your long-term goal?
Right.
Like this scenario, that buyer is not thinking like, okay, I'm going to make, I'm going to walk away with $500 or $1,000 every month after paying mortgage. That's a great deal. They're like, no, this is something I'm just going to keep forever or 20 years, and my kids are going to benefit, because the longer they hold, of course, the more eventually they're going to do better. The better they're going to do over time, right? But if they're able to brunt, to take on a $200 extra payment out of their pocket for 10, however many years, and they're okay with it.
Right.
It works for them.
I mean, really, the trifecta you're looking for as an investor, you want to think, you're looking for cash flow, you're looking for appreciation, and you're looking for debt pay down.
Sure.
That would be the trifecta if you can hit all 3. Of course, there's some other, benefits, tax benefits and stuff like that, but the immediate measurable ones are going to be, what are you cash flowing from it? What's the appreciation look like in that area or after 5 years? And then obviously, how much of my debt is my tenant paying down while they're there for 5 years? Yeah. So those are the 3 areas you want to hit. In that scenario, we're not hitting cash flow at all. It's actually negative. So it's costing him, but he's still going to get the appreciation. Yeah. The tenant is still paying down majority of that monthly note.
Sure.
So
and
2 out of 3.
It may be a strategic play.
Maybe.
I'm thinking about it this way, because what happens if a year and a half comes and rates go down? That person could refi. Boom. Now they're in deposit. Now they're in a.
And then they raise the rent, and it's like a double whammy.
There you go.
What they got coming in is up. What it goes down, so that spread gets larger.
Again, it could get sweeter that way. So maybe that again, it could work. But if you don't have a lot of extra cash on the side to dump in a whole nother house, I would advise maybe just not buy it. Just wait
find a better deal
for the right deal. Correct. Sweet. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good to know. So rates today. What are we? August. Sheesh.
Damn.
October, right? Where am I at
today,
man? This year's just gone that fast, man. It felt like it was January, and we're here in October. So
October 4th. End of the day already, so we've already had all of our
10-4.
Pricing adjustments. Right, 10-4. It's already at 4:30 in the evening here or afternoon.
Before we go on real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you get that weird alert?
I did.
That emergency broadcast.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're listening, you guys are gonna see this probably later, but yeah. Just want to know who all got that. That was weird. I guess everyone who had a cell phone got that emergency broadcast alert, which was kind of creepy.
I was even told that if you turned your phone off because you didn't want it, if you turned your phone back on within 30 minutes, you got it anyway.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was told. But I mean, my phone was on. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I listen to music when I work. So my AirPods were in, and then it just
a bang in your ear?
Scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Ooh, that's, I don't know if that's I don't know. That's never happened before. Yeah, so what? So was that? Right. That's why you got to get your house today, guys. That way you have a place to shelter once the once the zombies come, you got your own. There you go. That's it. That won't
be weird for the neighborhood at all.
Nah.
What movie's that? Purge? Where they got all their equipment?
The Purge is one. That's not a zombie movie, but that's the Purge was wild. The Purge was wild. Right. Because zombie movies, a lot of zombie movies I've seen, they move slow. They're slow. But there are the ones that go fat, like that's crazy. But there's quite a few that are they're just slow, and they're just what was that TV show? Oh man, I used to watch the first Walking Dead. I saw like the first 3-4 seasons, was hooked, and just kind of just didn't watch. But yeah, it fizzled out. But it was, I don't know why I stopped watching it. But yeah, it like that. They were slow, slow moving, whatever. You can kind of get away from them. Back to the real estate, man. We got thrown off on a tangent.
So, okay, which is a lot higher than it was. The higher that this goes, the higher the interest rates are.
Right. I was going to say people may not understand the correlation
Right.
between that.
So conversely from that, the mortgage-backed securities, which is the MBS, that's what mortgages follow. Those you'll start to see get sold off as the Treasury raises higher and higher. When those get sold off, that means that we are losing any extra credit that we have to give good interest rates. The lower those goes, higher the rates go. So right now, conventional loans, high sevens, low eights. FHA, mid to high sevens, so we're talking 7.5, 7.75. Some of these grant programs that do down payment assistance coverage and stuff like that, they typically come with higher interest rates, so you can expect those to be up over 8 right now as well. That's just the market we're in. So any homes you see, if you're pricing them out 20% down with a 6.5% interest rate, you are not giving yourself an accurate picture of what that payment will be. I see it a lot. Zillow and a lot of these ones, they're set up that way.
Yeah.
They're set up, their default mortgage calculator. I've gotten a lot of these questions so far, or lately. These calculators that for Zillow or Redfin, they'll type in, okay, what would the payment be on this home?
Yeah.
By default, those things are set up with saying that you're putting 20% down, that you're buying the interest rate down, so the payment they give you to try and entice you into inquiring about it is not accurate to what your payment would actually be. So
Right.
keep that in mind when you're surfing Zillow. That way you're aware of what your payment would actually be.
Right. Yeah, that's good information. So what would you suggest then? What would be the best way to get more accurate?
Make sure that you pop open that advanced calculator and see what it is that they have popped in there. A lot of times they underestimate the property taxes. They'll have in there, like I said, that you're putting 20% down. So go and change that to no more than 5, because most people are not putting more than 5% down when they
Right.
purchase a home. Make sure that it does not show that you're buying down any points or paying any points or buying down the interest rate. So the interest rates that I just said now, make sure that it shows that it's being calculated at a 7.75.
Out of 7.
or
Right.
higher. That's just what you're getting right now.
It is what it is.
Unless, like I said,
Is that best case scenario?
That's best case scenario. Well, that's if you're not buying anything down.
Sure.
So a lot of times you will get quotes from loan officers, banks, retail, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
You'll get quotes stating, okay, this is including a $3,000 buy down of your rate, and then it'll be lower than the rates I'm saying now. And
Right.
It's taking into account $3,000. Not everybody has $3,000, so I will quote rates out the gate,
Mhm.
$3,000 being paid down.
Right.
You don't have that kind of money. So the rate that you get right now in this market without having to buy it down, you're looking at about 7.75.
Okay.
So that's a good starting point right now.
Yeah.
It's higher if it's lower, great, but that's a good way to calculate it.
To kind of get a feel about what it's going to look like. Yeah. It's getting interesting, man. Let's talk about. I'll give a little quick data on Fresno. Hey guys, Fresno, we're here. Get some local data on the median list price today. This is actually as of I guess last Friday, the September 29th. At that time, median list price here in Fresno, guys, $430,000. Median list price, not bad. This same time last year, guys, here in Fresno, the median list was $412,000. So we're up year on year, guys. We're up. A lot of people I know were saying that prices were going to decline and prices, value's going to crash, which completely didn't happen. We just been going up a little slower than normal, which is good because the last 2.5 years, prices, values are going appreciation, which is increasing so fast year on year. Now it's just slowing down. We're about 4% right now, I think, up from last year. So year on year, not bad, 4%,
Which I think is kind of spoiled. I mean, we had a couple years where we had double digits.
Yeah.
Back to
Oh,
back.
that was unprecedented.
I would be okay with 0.
Well,
I would be
I want to
okay
say
with zero growth.
historically, I get before 2020, it was like 3 to 5%. Was that norm? I guess appreciation annually, right? 3 to 5%. House goes up, cool, not bad. We're at 4. So, and in a crazy market, which with crazy high rates,
right?
Still 4. So, we recovered quite a bit from last fall. Here we are a year later. I feel we are in a better position than we were last year. I think we're going to end the year. I'm just projecting. I don't know for sure. I'm just going to throw a number, but I could see us 5 to 6% year on year. We're going to close. I feel it could go up a little bit.
So we still got some more appreciation.
I think just a tad. I know it might sound crazy to some people. Like, damn, prices are already high. True, but you got to understand. I just put a couple houses on the market within the last few weeks, and they both went crazy. Like, demand was crazy. 6 offers within 2-3 days. Just listed a condo 2 days ago. Got a first offer already.
Wow.
Full price. And more people are asking about. So. Buyers are there, especially, and again, see, these properties are also below the median, right? So below the median, that's where the demand is. That's where that's what's keeping these prices higher. So that's so we can keep going. Let's do average. Average price per square foot is $252 per square foot for those that are really liking the numbers and data. Let's go with the median days on market is about 28 days, so under a month.
Still there?
Yes.
Okay.
See, that tells you right there. It's virtually still moving quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
And majority of those is coming from that lower end of the market, right? The higher end is slower. More inventory, price reductions there. Let's see. And let's go with the median rent right now. This is crazy to me though, but it's here, Fresno. The median rent, take one guess. Fresno. Median rent.
$1,600.
Huh. 4 years ago.
What? Median rent? Really?
Median rent in Fresno is $2,350. So guys, if you're out there, if you own a home or you've been in a rental for 3 or 4 years or more, you've owned your home for before 2022 or before the summer, rates went up, you are looking great. Your rent or mortgage payment is, I'm sure, around there or below that, ideally for the average priced home. So, it's just where it's at, man. It's just where it's at. But yeah, it's up there. It's softening though now. Rents were going up pretty quickly. Now it's just kind of leveling. It's gonna probably go down a little bit. It has to, it's just gonna start decreasing. I'm hearing something about apartments are definitely coming down quicker, I should say.
The rents?
Rental, yeah. If you're renting apartments, yes, those will come down a little quicker than rentals for single family houses. Rents, those are a little bit stickier, but they can soften a little as well. But yeah, so apartments are coming down quicker. But all in all, guys, the market is still moving right along. You got buyers even with this 8% rate. Now it just anything like 450, 500, 600 plus, you got to be just very cautious on how you how you price it, how you in the presentation, and it might just take a little longer.
Yeah, you're talking about the listing side, right? You're listing them to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Prepare the sellers.
There you go.
There might be a little bit more time spent on the market.
Yeah, just understanding, just educating, whatever market, whatever area, just kind of see what the average days on, what they're selling for, and again, just know that it may move slower, especially now we're in the fall, right? That's another on top of seasonality, but that's seasonality, and
which is typically a slower time of the year, right? Coming up here.
Yeah. That's every year. Around this time, it dips down a little bit. It slows down, but still moving forward. Let's see what else we got. We can go. There was something else. So we're still down on inventory year on year.
That's going to continue to drop.
That's still going to, yeah. We have about 12% fewer pending sales than last year. So last year we had 12% more pending sales in escrow. So, this year we're definitely going to close a lot less transactions than we did last year as a nationwide. I'm going nationwide now. Nationally, they're thinking 4 million, maybe a little bit below 4 million transactions prior years. Like 21, I believe we did like 6.5 million. Crazy.
Yeah.
I think 22, we were like 5.9, I want to say, somewhere high fives. And so 23, we're looking maybe about 4. 3.9 at the end of the year. Just slowed down quite a bit, and that's due to rates and just not the inventory available. Actually, really, it's a lot of it's inventory, lower end. So with the rates too. So that's it here, Fresno, man. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, and this will probably be the first time I ever say this, but my thoughts are that I feel like we are truly at a market, and at a point in this market where some people, whether they're qualified or not, some buyers, some sellers, may not have what it takes to operate in this market, and not from a qualification standpoint, not from you don't have the equity to sell your home, or you're not going to make anything when you sell your home. All of that's going to check out. It always will. But I think we're at a point now where some buyers and some sellers mentally just are not going to be capable to handle this market. And I say that now because we are reaching levels that are new highs for the Treasury, the 10-year Treasury. Yeah. We're reaching, highs for interest rates. We're still reaching higher in home price values, at least here in Fresno. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this stuff that is happening, I think, has been testing the stamina and the endurance of some buyers who are like, you know what, okay, we can handle it. We can do more overtime. We can cut back our spending. We can handle, an additional $200 on our mortgage. Mm-hmm. We can handle it. We'll wait for the relief. And I can feel it, the relief. People are starting to feel like there is no relief coming. We would have just got ourselves in a stressful position. Right. And on paper, they wouldn't have, but mentally, if that's where you're at, I think that I'm prepared to say that some buyers and sellers just may not be equipped to handle this market.
Yeah, very true.
And again, not from I can look at all the documents and say like, no, you're fine. You guys make more than enough. But up here matters. I mean, what does it? What does it matter? If you're buying,
fear
if you're stressed,
is big.
What does it mind if you're?
Investors too. A lot of investors that are passing up opportunities. It's really the fear factor. We have been. It's getting worse.
I don't think so. I think when it was 7, approaching 7.5, I think people were like, "Well, man, I'm happy. Good. Get them out. I'm still gonna find my deal." But now that we're hitting 8s, going over 8s for primary, I can see it. Yeah. I can see it again, and I don't know if it's just the next thing, and then maybe 8s will become comfortable again.
Well, yeah, it's a psychological effect. But 100%.
This just feels different than a year ago when we first hit 7s. Hitting 8s feels a little bit different this time. I feel like the ones who managed through the 7 window are hitting 8, and they're like, nah, I'm not going there.
Well, I think
I'm not going there, Mark.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
I think right. I think it's just how rapidly the rates increased, and historically it's never been, in our lifetime, it has been over 8. I mean, back in the 80s, early 80s, rates went up to
$50,000 home,
18% or whatever like that, right? But here we are now today. We haven't, most of us have only seen 3-4%, majority of our lifetime. So therefore now we're at 8. So like last year, the market just stopped when we hit 7s, right? It was shocker. It was like, oh my gosh, 7. Oh, I'm stopping. Everybody, people were just, the market stopped. After a few months went by, people were like, okay, well, I guess this is what it is. It's not so bad. And the market opened up again. People they got used to it. I think the same thing could happen with the 8s, man. It's going to it'll stop abruptly. So. It'll slow down. People will be, and then some people just can't afford it, which is, I get it, it's elevated, but even the ones that could, they might just like 8%, man, that's crazy. But like you said, over time, for some reason, psychologically, we become okay. Yeah, we become programmed and okay. Like, okay, well, we've been in 8 for a while, I guess this is what it is. And then, if the rates do come down to 7 looks amazing then, right?
Yeah,
and like right now, 6 looks amazing. Yeah. However, just think, say January, February, March of 22.
You say 6.
6s, you were like, whoa, you're crazy. I'll never buy a house with a 6 on it. Fast forward to today, 6 is looking great. So I think it's just a lot of that has to play a part. It has to sink in. We have to just really get used to it, program to it. And if the payment's affordable and you need a house, you're going to buy it because you're always thinking like, well, in a year, rates should hopefully go down and maybe I'll have a chance to refinance them. And like I said, at least you could probably lock in the price today.
Yeah.
And then
I guess me saying that comes from just my personal database and pipeline, because I have different levels of shoppers.
Yeah.
And a lot of which they're repeat clients, or looking to help their kids buy, or pick up an investment property, and they're high income earners. So I have these ones that call me probably once a week, once every other week. Hey, what's the market looking like? Hey, and we just talk turkey, man. Just everything that's going on, and hearing more than 50%, 60% of that group.
Wow.
Say, hey man, I don't know, man. We might have to pass on this year and just kind of see where it goes. And I know money's not the issue because I've done plenty of their loans and I know what they do, and I got all the paperwork for their business so that we can be ready to buy whenever they're ready. And it's just, I guess hearing that from so many of them kind of makes me feel like, am I viewing this wrong? Like, it makes me like look at it, and when I just it's crazy to me that it's affecting my A++ clients, psychologically, because they've been the ones like, hey, I don't care. What do we have, Mark?
Yeah.
What do we have? Investment property, 8.5? I don't care. Let's do it. Now that I'm hitting 9s, they're like, whoa, let's see if we can, let's wait it out. Let's do this. And I'm like, I've not heard that from certain clients, and I'm hearing it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of waking me up a little bit, like, okay, what's going on here? But it you're right. It could just be, we're not programmed for this yet.
We're not. I mean, but on the flip side, it could work out best for them to wait. Maybe it is a time for them to wait, and maybe next spring, or early winter, rates may come down, right? It might, and prices might not be as much as it might be similar, right? And so that's the whole thing with this. It's what's so interesting, and it's kind of exciting. I mean, it's not exciting while you're in it, because if you're trying to do deals, but it's exciting to where it's like you got to make your best, I guess, guesstimation or your best analysis. But I think a lot of people don't make their decisions based on all the data, right? They don't look at every single factor, things that are happening in the economy, just like the whole picture. A lot of times they'll take one piece of thing and they're like, oh man, rates are up, so houses got to come down. It's probably going to crash. They just go on, and then it just looks crazy to them. So they talk themselves out of it,
right? And
then the fear sinks in. But if you just sit back and look at the opportunity, like I say, there's always opportunity in every market. It doesn't matter what the price is,
Absolutely.
What the rates are. You just gotta get better at doing the research and doing the work and learning your local market, learning what prices are, and just making multiple offers based on the price you're comfortable with, or finding and just, you might have to make more offers to get the better deal, but you can find the deal out there, guys. Especially as we get into the winter, it's going to be the sellers that are listing their house this fall and winter usually have a real need to sell, a little bit more motivated, right? Less buyers now opens up opportunity.
Yeah.
So figure out where that is. You could find a good deal.
Yeah.
Especially if you got a good agent or someone that's helping you guide you, or investor that's helping you and that's knowledgeable and they're strategic and they know how to kind of find some deals or make deals happen, negotiate deals, even off market deals, right? There's some good deals. Best ones for sell by owners, or people that tried to sell a year ago and they just took it off the market, or just go after them, and you never know, you might be able to do a great negotiate a great deal directly with the owner for your client or for yourself. So I would just seek a professional.
Yeah.
If you're really serious about buying in this market, and hopefully that professional is very well versed and knowledgeable and knows different solutions or different options,
and give it to you straight.
Right, give it to you straight, 100%, and help you find a good deal that's going to work for yourself and guide you through it.
That's it.
So this is more than ever. We gotta skill up, guys. Realtors out there, we gotta skill up.
And don't tell me you don't got time, because I know you got time.
I don't got time.
I see.
Well, yeah,
too many professionals in this industry right now with plenty of time wasting their time doing stuff that they don't need to be doing right now.
Let's end on that real quick. Let's talk about time. I think we talked about it before, but I think that's very important, about time and how people feel they don't have time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we all have time to do what we want to do, but the things we say we don't have time for is because it's not as important to us, even though it should be. It might be something that should be important, but You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. I think COVID made that
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah.
I think COVID made that very clear that most people didn't have a time issue; they had a discipline issue, because COVID gave you plenty of time to do plenty of things. If you wanted to, cook more, if you wanted to finish that book, if you wanted to finish that course, if you wanted to, you were home and you had to be, and they paid you to be.
Educate yourself. How many?
If you didn't come out of there with a new skill, a new job, a higher net worth, a better relationship, there was a lot. You missed a lot of opportunity, and you never really had a time issue. You had a discipline issue.
That's it. That's it. There's always time for everything.
There's always time, man.
We got, and it's really just planning your day, and time blocking is so important.
Right.
Whether you use a calendar or just anything written down, from 9 to 12, I'm doing this. From 2 to that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym. I get off at 3:30 to 4:30. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to pick up my kid at 4:45. I'm going to go make dinner. It sounds like work, but it is a little bit more extra steps or work to time blocking, but you're going to find once you do that, you're going to get so much more accomplished in your life in general because it's all broken down. You don't have to think about it. You look, boom, okay, I'm going to do this next. And you just get straight to it. So, because you realize, well, we waste a lot of time throughout the day. It's very easy to waste a lot of time and not even realize it. Before you know it, 2 hours go by, you're just chopping it up with a friend at work or somebody else or just hanging out.
Right.
And in that 2 hours, you don't realize how much you could have done. You could have went to the gym. You could have made dinner. You could have picked this up. You could have got this done. But then, but that's why time blocking is important because you could be in the middle of something. You look at oh man, I got to be somewhere okay, I got it. All right. You'll cut it short because you got to be somewhere at 12:30, whether it's a workout or whatever that is.
Right.
So that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, we got time. It's just, we got to make it important and make it a, what's the word I'm looking for? Make it a priority.
Yeah.
Prioritize.
Yeah. Once you prioritize that time, make sure you're filling that time with productive things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's part two to that.
Yeah.
But if you knock everything out you need to, find yourself with 3 extra hours, great. But if you just take them 3 hours to binge Netflix,
there you go.
You might as well just slow down throughout the day and taking your time because you're just going to waste it later anyway.
100%. That's
not saying Netflix at all is bad. I'm just saying binge watching every single night, or if you can go through a whole season in 1 week,
right?
Let's not do that.
100%, right? So guys out there, this is a good lesson for those.
Or if you're going to do it, don't complain.
That's it. So, because there's a lot of people that may watch, that want to be in business for themselves, want to be an entrepreneur. How did I even say it? Entrepreneur, want to be in real estate, whatever they want to be, even if you're young or older, and you're just trying to figure out stuff. Just one of the most important, guys, just start right now. Start making a list of what you need to get done. Whatever your goals are, write it down, and then every day fill that in a time slot in your day-to-day action. Even if little things, guys, even if it's to read the chapter of a new book you're trying to learn about, right? Okay, I'm going to read this chapter from 2 to 2:45. I'm going to be reading this book. So now you got it penciled in and you got to stick to it. You're going to do it and it'll get done. You'll look up like, man, I got a lot accomplished today. You'll feel better and you'll be moving ahead in your life and you'll be on your way to getting your goal.
You'll probably find that you want to cut aside more time to do stuff like that.
Right. Right. It's just create that good habit. If you create that good habit, that's one step closer to your success and whatever it is you're looking to do. So,
because these expensive, unknown, struggling times, they call for that. They call for those who are prepared, and you can't get prepared if you're not taking the time to do 100%. so. So the more and more you do it now, the less and less you care about interest rates getting higher or can we afford this. You're not concerned about that because you've been preparing for it. You've taken your time to prepare yourself for this stuff. So when this comes, it's a lot easier to see opportunities when you're not stressing about what you're missing or what you're lacking. So
very true.
Make the best use of your time, and so you'll be ready to buy that first home or that 30th home.
Whatever it is your goals are.
Yeah.
All right, man. 100%. Sweet. You got anything else, man?
No, that's it, man. That's it. We did a short one, little update, tell you guys how the market's going right now on 10-4.
10-4.
Flying through this year.
Man.
Hopefully we see some relief coming up. If not, there's always opportunity. There's always pivots to make so that you can continue to accomplish your goals, whether it's buying your first house or your 10th. So
100%.
Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay vigilant. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to us.
Heat speakers, baby.
See you next
See you guys
time.
on the next one. Later.